All right, guys, so we're live. I'm trying something pretty new today. We're gonna go over a Q&A regarding entrepreneurship. We're gonna talk about incorporating little tips and tricks, taking you guys questions through Facebook Live and Instagram Live at the same time. So as I work this, I'm gonna be looking at different screens. This is gonna be vlog 008. Guys, I welcome you. I implore you to ask your questions as I build this up and the audience grows. Ask questions away and I'm gonna answer to the best. I got a few comments and a few DMs with questions already. So, hey Manny, what's going on? Evelyn, I'm gonna start off with the first question to get right into this. Jennifer Abreu, which reached out to me and said, hey, what's a great way to set yourself apart from the 50,000 realtors? And this answer pretty much will cover any field. One of the things you want to do is, and I've been saying it over and over, is just show up. A lot of people, they want to be the master of something. They train, they go to every single seminar, every, sponsored training event. They go to even to their own office trainings, but when they don't show up to work, they want to have the perfect plan. The best way to do it, man, is fail right off the get-go. Get into an office, just put in the work. Learn as you go. Don't expect to be perfect at something before you start it. Just get in there and work it. Just work it and it'll come to you. When there's other individuals as well, whatever industry you're in, that are working hard around you, it's like osmosis. It builds on you, it grows on you, it makes you want to work more. If you're in a place that everybody is grinding to the late night, it keeps you there longer. So I implore you guys to find a place that is conducive to that that they're gonna bust their butt so you can learn from it. So Jennifer Abreu says, how do you set yourself apart from the 50,000? Put in more work than most of them. And a chilling statistic, it says 80% of realtors do 0 to 1 transactions, and it's 0. And 5% of realtors make 80% of the commission. So that goes to show you that, a lot of people don't show up. And one of the things is people try to be a master and stay at home and think they can work from home. If you're new to an industry or you haven't been successful yet, it's because you haven't showed up enough to the office. You haven't failed enough and haven't messed up with enough clients, and there's no excuse nowadays with this industry or any industry right now, with the economy being so great, with unemployment being down. There's a lot of money out there. A lot of people are putting their life savings into homes, into cars. So you need to get the getting while the getting is good, so you don't have to work twice as hard from now to make what you can make now in the future. Of course, you don't have to work twice as hard in the future. And Jen then asks, and guys, just a reminder to whoever just joined in, ask away your questions. Ask them in the chat. I'll get to it. Hey Alejandro, how's it going? Dimas, what's going on, my brother? Guys, ask any questions. Basically, the second question Jennifer had asked is, how do you set yourself apart from everybody else as well? Like, what are the tips that I do? One of the things I do, which is an incredible tip that works across the field, is I set a Google Calendar reminder that every time at 7:30 at night, it reminds me to check my text messages at night. So it's one of these things that, as we're busy, and if you're working a lot, you get a lot of text messages and you may not be able to respond to them as fast as you would like to. And sometimes you forget. You got a message at 11, you're like, hey, look, in a meeting, let me get back to you. And you may go another client, the kids come out, your husband or your wife, makes you do something in the house and you forget about that person. So I set a Google Calendar reminder to basically remind me to check my text messages. So set a Google Calendar reminder, check your text message of the day, and I'll basically go from 7:30 to the previous day and make sure I replied or called back everybody I told that I would. So that's a very important tip that I definitely would implore all you guys to put into it. That's one of the things that, let me see on this Facebook Live. Let me reset it. Hold on one second. Let's see. I don't know. It's not showing me. Let's see. Guys, can you see me? Tiffany, can you see me there? I don't know. It's not showing me myself on my screen. But basically, you guys want to get in there and get to work. Put in the work. What we talk about. Can you see me? Jay, can you see me? Okay, perfect. So you guys want to make sure, I'll look at, you know, in any industry. Hey, okay, perfect, Evelyn, thank you so much. Evelyn, give us a question. I know you're there, you're on the Facebook Live. Give us a question that everybody, well, Evelyn works VA clients. That's an incredible thing. So thank you, Evelyn, for doing all the service, you know, a great service to the people that put their lives on the line. So I appreciate that. Guys, Ask Away, this Q&A is for you guys. Any questions you have, any thoughts, I'm here for you guys. While we wait for those questions to come in, you know, one of the things that I do is I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon. Thank you, Tony, for following up. Is I always buy little gadgets. And well, actually, let me talk about the books that I have. If you guys haven't got it yet, get Gary Vee's Crush It. Incredible book. You know, his whole series, Crushing It is incredible. But if you haven't seen it, you have to get Gary Vee's podcast as well. Back here I have Sun Stand Still. Incredible book. It's a spiritual book whenever you need that mindset working. You know, I tend to read, you know, a lot of people always ask me for great book advice, and you know, it's something that I have different audible books, like depending on the type of the day. There's days that I need to learn an actual thing, let's just say on real estate investing or property management or whatever it could be, and I read a technical book. That's the technical know-how book that I would read. And then I keep a motivational book, because some days you may not wake up with that motivation or not. I keep a self-help book where it'll give you different ways of time managing or processing things. And I keep a spiritual book, because there's times that you may have everything running, but you woke up a certain way and you want to make sure you get your mindset right. Your spirituality, that's an important thing. No matter what you believe in or in what things you believe in, you always got to make sure that the spirit is rocking and rolling, because, you know, as you guys may know, you may have a bad day and you know everything you need to know, and you have all the technical know-how, and you know how to hustle, but that will throw you off track. So guys, you know, do you daily affirmations or you prefer read? All right, so Monique asked, do I use daily affirmations or you prefer reading and praying? So I like actually a little bit of a like a multi-level purpose. I wake up every day. I go and I feed my dog, so that's a personal thing. So I have to feed him, he's always hungry. But I use the 5-minute journal. The 5-minute journal is an incredible thing, because you pray about it. You write the top 3 things you need to do for the day. You also write words of gratitude. So, you know, a lot of times I'll thank God for the things that I do. Then I also use an app called the Day One Journal on the App Store. The Day One is an incredible thing because it saves your writing in your journal digitally. So if I'm having a problem, let's just say with faith or or trusting the process, I could write in there like, man, you know, today was a hard day. And in my journal, I could search by certain words. And basically, you know, I'll search on something. But so basically, to answer your question, Monique, I wake up in the morning, I do all my getting ready. I'll do the 5-minute journal. I'll link it in the YouTube video so you guys can take a look at it. But it's a 5-minute journal. Before I go to bed, it's very important. I'll pray. I'll set my goals for the next day. You know, out of 7 days out of the week, there may be a day or two that I don't set up my goals and I don't look at my planner to know exactly what's going on the next day. I go through that in my mind. The way I fall asleep, to be honest, if I'm not dead tired, is I start thinking of the next day. I start thinking what the process is going to be. When I wake up, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the gym. I have to do this. I think about the client. And that usually will put me to bed. And by the time I get through the half day, what I'm doing, I'll knock out. And luckily, it's easy for me to fall asleep. I know it's not the same for everyone. But that's something I do. So I make sure my clothes is ready in the morning. So I'll go from the night and I'll go to the morning, Monique. So sorry I went back and forward on it. So I get my clothes ready for the morning. So I usually have my shoes, my shirt, my shorts. So as I wake up, I throw my clothes on and it forces me to go to the gym. I go, I make my coffee, I walk my dog. I do the 5-minute journal. In the 5-minute journal, I put my top 3 things that I need to do that day. And also in the 5-minute journal, it allows you to put what I didn't do yesterday. So I look at what I didn't do yesterday and I put it into my current day. So it allows me to look back and see what I didn't do, and then the things I'm grateful for. So definitely that, the 5-minute journal. And then sometime throughout the day, I usually put a Google Calendar reminder to get at 12, 1 o'clock. But I would suggest for everybody is to focus, be grateful for things, and remember the things that I have to do. So I'll relook at my morning journal to make sure what's going on. And I'll usually do that 4 out of the 5 days out the week that I'm in the office. Saturdays, I'm usually at another office, so I'm still working on Saturdays, but I set those reminders from Monday through Friday. Evelyn asks, what do you advise for those who are coming out of a 9-to-5 structured job to showing up to offers where they have no idea to begin? That's an incredible question. We have so many individuals that were in that 9-to-5 world, and ultimately, as you see the money you can make in any sales job, if you really put yourself, especially in real estate, that the number sign of a closed sale is usually larger than most other sales jobs that I know of. Is, Evan, you just gotta, even if, and like for you exactly, Evan, I mean, when you bring the baby to the office, just show up, and when you get there, you get to know the individuals that are in that office. And there's so many parents that kick butt in this industry because they just show up. And if you have to get a babysitter, the way if you could leave it with parents, that's great. Or if you could get a babysitter, that would be ideal. But if don't let the excuse of like, oh man, I have the baby, I can't. Just show up. And especially you, Evan, you bring your daughter, like just have her come in here and just work. And if you don't know people within the first week, that's the fear people have, and that's the roadblock they set themselves on, that they don't want to go to the office because they don't know nobody. I hope anybody who's watching, you're in a place that is welcoming, that is gonna tell you, hey, show up to the office. You go, and in the first day, even if you have nothing to do, you're hearing top producers around you working and closing deals. That motivates you. If you only rely on the knowledge you have yourself, unless you're reading and looking at tons of YouTube videos, or you're looking, in message forums, just show up. Sooner or later, you'll build friends with people in the office, and you'll feel comfortable, and you'll start working harder, because now you're like, oh, this person's working on lead generation. This person's working on Craigslist. This person's calling the motivated sellers. This person's knocking on doors. And by Evelyn, have no fear, just show up. Once people see you coming every day in any kind of work environment, usually they'll open the doors, and they'll put that extended hand to help you. And you just ask questions. Just go in there and ask questions. Even if they don't, go ask the question. Don't let that be your excuse why not to excel. Hey Dennis, what's going on, brother? Pleasure to see you in here. And Monique, it was my pleasure. And I'll continue doing this for you guys. Tony, since I'm outside the U.S., how important do you think it's the CIPS designation to build business with U.S. agents, brokers, realtors? I think any designation is good, because most people don't end up doing it. I think somewhere around here, I have like the CRS. The international sales is great. My thing, Tony, I would tell you is just set up the referral partners. You being outside the U.S., have somebody in New York, have somebody in Miami, have a few in Miami, because there's a lot of Miami people that they get busy, or the traffic or something in New York, and there's different areas in Miami. Maybe there's somebody in Fort Lauderdale, and they're not gonna come to Miami. So Tony, just set up those referral agreements. Set up referral agreements. Set up a couple people you can work with. One of the great ways to set up, Tony, go on to Zillow and see who has a lot of closed sales. Usually an agent that's on Zillow and has a lot of closed sales on Zillow, they're usually paying good money, or they just reported a lot of sales and they just got into Zillow. And those are the people that are usually gonna respond to you. See how fast they respond to it, and message 20 of them and see who's the best, who you gel with, who you fit in with most. So just go that way and set up referral agreements everywhere. And it's so easy to go on Zillow and see who's the top producer. And then if you want, you could basically go to realtor.com, Tony, and put in that agent's name and see how many sales they have. So if, let's just say John Doe in Miami says, hey, I'm a superstar, find him out, feel him out, see if he's really a superstar, see how many sales he has, and see where he sells. If you see all his sales on Kendall, you may want to use him for Kendall, South Florida. And if you see another person that sells in Fort Lauderdale mainly, then you keep that person for your Fort Lauderdale. So there you go, Tony. Monique says Boca. Demas asks, and Demas, what's up, brother? Demas was actually in the Marine Corps with me, so a pleasure always, brother, to hear from you. Many investors should choose to tap into their equity in their own primary home to help finance their purchase of the investment. Do you recommend this move? I definitely recommend you being able to tap into your 401k or equity in your home, but not for your first couple of purchases. If I were you, and you should partner with somebody who's done this before and do that, but don't take on Demas, the project by yourself. The first project is always a little tricky. Everybody always thinks you get into a house, 90 days later, it's sold. But remember, a project usually takes 30 to 60 days, usually 90, sometimes more depending on the project. Then you have to list it on the MLS, for the most part. Then you got to wait for the buyer. That could be a day or it could be 30 days. Plus you got to hope he closes within the 45 to 60 days that an average retail contract happens. So you could go 6, 7, 8 months, and if you don't have the experience or the backing or the reserves, it could get very tricky. So I always suggest to partner with somebody you trust. I mean, if you have a family member that knows how to do work physically themselves, that's a great thing. So Demas, I wouldn't tap into it unless you're a veteran into it or you've done a couple transactions in this business. So definitely don't just do that without help. If you and talk to me, because if it's in South Florida, we could do something down here. If it's in Texas, New Jersey, or Chicago, we could definitely help you with that. Yes, Leida, what's up? It's always a pleasure. Thank you for tapping in. It's always a pleasure for me to do these things. I love helping you guys, no matter if I know you or I don't know you. I hope these kind of videos help you. I love to put all this information. I'm gonna do more of these. I'll probably have a little bit more time and structure so I can have even multiple questions. This is something new that I'm doing. And as I progress, I'm getting more tech. I just got a nice laptop, so I'm gonna be editing this. I'll maybe ask the question, put a little screen thing to ask the questions. Evelyn says, agreed, asking for the newbies. I love going to Pines. That's true, Evelyn is in the Pines office. That's a great question, Evelyn, for setting me up to help out the newer agents. Tony, I'm glad you're taking the notes. We've been live for 16 minutes. I'm gonna wait for a few more questions. As those questions come in, guys, have no fear of asking these questions. Javier, how's it going, brother? Thank you for joining. Nancy actually came in online as well. So guys, look, as I free at this moment when there's no questions, I'll just start telling you some recommendations. What are some things that I could tell you what I've bought lately? Always buy a timer. So the way I stay focused sometimes is I set a timer for myself that I make sure that I don't check social media. There's a great timer to check. You set up a 30-minute window that you're just focused, dialing in, calling prospective buyers, following up with your employees, your realtors, or whatever business you're in. You're following up with your staff. Make sure you set time and you don't allow yourself to get distracted. Another good tip on the social media distraction is you could check your app in the morning. A lot of people like to check it up when they wake up in the morning, and hopefully you're at least getting up, brushing your teeth before you check social media. Do not check it in your bed. It's a horrible habit to check social media while you're in the bed. So what some people do is they get up, do everything they need to do, look at their social media, post whatever, make sure everything is good, make sure no leads have come in, of course, and then delete the app. Delete the app till you get home. And the cool thing is you don't have to man, I don't want to delete this and I have to re-put my login and password. With iOS, at least, you delete the app, you install it back, your password's saved. So that's a good way to make sure you're not checking social media. It's one of the things that I talk to a lot of individuals in the office regarding, you wasting or spending too much time on social media. If you're using it to prospect, that's a great thing. I myself could be victim to browsing a little bit too longer. So make sure you're not letting it control you. You control your social media. That's an incredible tip that I can share with you guys. That's helped my business. Norland, thank you, brother. It was a pleasure. Norland, put in your basketball charity, man, with Fab Sports. Put it in there so people can sponsor. Let me know so we can sponsor the next time around. Jen, I saw you just join in. Thank you for your question. I appreciate you coming in and asking that question. What other tips can I tell you guys that I've done as of late? What I've bought. Another cool thing, I'll keep bringing things. As everybody knows, I'm an Amazon junkie. This is an incredible thing that it controls your mouse. If you're like me and your mouse cord is all over the place and you have to pull out the mouse cord, this is a mouse cord organizer. So you put the mouse cord here. I don't think my mouse is gonna reach. No, it's not gonna reach. But you put it here, the cord, and then it controls your mouse and never gets tangled. So make sure you guys. Jen, I answered your question and I told people, so you're gonna have to make sure you watch it a little bit later. Let's see, what other industry tips or books? Guys, something if Audible's a great book reading app. If you don't listen to podcasts, I would suggest you also read podcasts. Those are free. If you can't afford the books, let me know. I'll get your first book free. And if you use that credit that Amazon does, I'll still send you another book. Whatever you guys need, I'm here for you. What did I do a blog last week with a top producer? I'm gonna have better questions. I'm gonna have scripted questions for myself to use while people ask the questions. So for the next one, for blog 008 or the second one in this Q&A series. Will Caban from the Mortgage Man asks, how important is working out in relation to what you do for a living? And he had asked a great question. Will has, hey Will, there's two Wills on. What's up, Will 50? So Will, the working out aspect is incredible. It gives you the energy. It makes you refresh your mind when you work. I like doing it in the morning or in the evening. This is a big thing that's helped me shred like 14 pounds of like bad fat, I would say, and lean out a little bit better by keeping my muscle. It's called intermittent fasting. Today I ate at 3 o'clock for my first meal. I used to wake up in the morning at 6 in the morning, and I wouldn't do anything. I would go straight to the stove, turn it on, and crack a few eggs and put it on there while I go get ready. You know, like, well, I didn't leave the stove on, like, but as I got ready for my morning. And I would always be hungry, starving. And I would think that by eating at 5 or 6 in the morning, I would be good for the gym. This book, Reinventing the Alpha, I recommend it to all males that are watching. And ladies, you can watch it as well, but it's a male book, Reinventing the Alpha. It talks about intermittent fasting, what certain foods, how to build your testosterone, how to help your insulin levels. So Will, to me, working out in the morning, I feel like I can't function as well if I don't get that sweat out. And it helps me get up early to make sure I'm ahead of everybody. Lately, normally I used to get up at 5, but lately I've been getting up a little bit later just because I've been staying up later. As my girlfriend, she's working later into the evening, and I at least want to see her for a little bit most of the time. Sometimes I knock out, but Will, it's important for me, man, because it doesn't allow me to get that rush in the morning. So I basically need it. And the days that I don't work out in the morning and I come to the office, I see it in my production, I see it in my clarity, and I definitely say it's important. And Will, read that book, man. It's incredible. Hey Will, thanks for chiming in. Will says, que hola. I work out at 4:30, but it's a brain booster. Definitely a brain booster. I would not function well. A lot of people when I do this intermittent fasting, you don't have all the carbs ready for the morning, so I just do like a fasted cardio, or I'll do like a light workout, and then I'll also work out at night. So I do the intermittent fasting, which has helped me so much. Everybody in the office is doing it, and they're losing so much weight and not losing muscle, which is important. So definitely do that. Will, any company to work your social media, do you recommend that? Will, I would suggest, if you're sitting on capital and you want to spend it, it's always better because you could be focusing on prospecting and staying in your lane, which you're good at. Like, let's just say you're really good on the phones. It would be a waste of your time to actually go and now start learning social media to a certain extent. Like, if you could do posts consistently, make it about yourself, make it there was a great podcast, make it about the 3 things. Make sure that your posts are about impacting, empowerment to others, or entertainment. Make sure people want to follow you. But you know, we've worked with Yeli Longo. She's incredible. I'll link her up. She helped us at the beginning. She's a wealth of knowledge, an incredible media person. But there's so many apps like Canvas that lets you do these posts with minimal. There's different apps. Like I can tell you with Canva, Canva, it allows you to look like you have a full-time marketing department, and you could do those posts pretty easy. But so see if you can, Will. But unless you're sitting, if you have a bigger corporation, you have a lot of people under you and you don't have the time, I would suggest doing it yourself and learning it. There's a lot of YouTube videos. You could create the post even on Fiverr, Fiverr, for $5. It'll create a bunch of posts for you. So definitely do it on your own if you can at the beginning. So that's that, Will. Will recommending the Alpha book. Again, it's Reinventing the Alpha. Willie, what's up, man? Will says, is this channel for Wills only? There's a bunch of Wills on there. So Will ask a great, Will actually, I'll talk about his story if he's still on there. Willie's, you know, in the medical field. Yeah, I don't know exactly where he's at already. I don't know if he's PhD or he's like one of those high level like RNs. And Will, how many properties you have already, Will? Will buys a bunch of rental properties. Raul, what's up, baby? 10X, baby. So Raul just came from the conference. Let us know how that went, Will. So guys, you know, we're at this 24-minute mark. I want to make sure these Q&A stay under 30. So if you have any couple of questions before we wrap it up, I may make them longer. I'll put the link to my YouTube video as this, and I implore you guys, make sure these videos are a game changer. Whatever industry you're in, video is king, baby. You got king or queen. So you know, you know, I love, you know, the demographics that I get to see that look at these videos. So be the king or queen of your industry. What else? What's a good training topic that I said? Make sure you pick up your phone. That's another thing that everybody in this industry, I have several things, and I'll talk on a tip. I think always pick up your phone when it's your client. They're millennials. I'm in that millennial group by 2 years, so I think it's 80. So I was born in 82. So millennials think that text messaging is the key to it. I mean, there's certain individuals that I know text messaging works, and whenever somebody calls me and I'm in the middle of something, like right now there's been like 2 individuals that call me, I send a message like, hey, I'm in the middle of a meeting, please send me a text message. I could usually respond faster. If not, I'll give you a call by day's end. That way you control your time and time doesn't control you. If your client prefers text, but make sure you still get that physical call here and there. Make sure they hear your voice. It's very important. Don't try to just go text messaging all the way. That's my tip to you, to make sure that your circle of influence and your circle of influence and your clients stick, and they feel that you're reachable and not go to the next person. Hey Corey, how's it going? Thank you for joining in. Constanza, thank you so much. I'm gonna have these questions again, and if you guys just join, like ready for you guys more, so I could go through these things rapid fire, and I'm gonna keep a schedule on it. As you guys have seen, I've done like 1 or 2 vlogs a week. I have scheduled Eddie Hernandez, who's from Bank of America, and is gonna give us some small business tips. I have Ralph DiCaprio. He's gonna get in here and talk about more of this banking industry, guys. I have a restaurant owner, so if any of you guys ever wanted to open a restaurant, I want to make sure I get these entrepreneurs, business owners to talk to you guys. I'll talk about the things, and that's one thing I did on my last blog, as I'm learning with you guys, is to talk about opening up corporations. The opening up corporations, I see so many sales or realtors never open up the corporations as a PA. Make sure you're putting all your money to a corporation with the tax laws. And I'll plug the tax team. They do all our incorporations. They're awesome. But any accountant, any CPA, any online website that you want to find, open up corporation. And I implore you, realtors, you save so much money by just opening a corporation. As a realtor PA, I opened up Corp S, and we could go through. I'm sure I could get somebody from the tax team to tell us the difference of different corporations. Lifestyles under an LLC just for the limited liability. I see Carlos at the tax team. I'll plug him in, or JC or Mike. All these guys work corporations. Make sure, guys, whatever you're in, if you're 1099, you open a corporation. And also the great thing about the corporations is I was able to do my first couple flips on business credit. So I'd open these corporations, and I have an incredible guy at Chase, Javier Moreda. He hooked me up on getting great credit lines for my business, like business credit cards at 0% interest. So I'll be doing renovations on properties without ever investing one of my dollars. And especially if you don't have the funds right now and you want to get on a project, talk to an investor and say, hey, listen, I can help you with the material costs. And if you have a corporation, and especially as it grows with time, 2 years into, you could get $100,000 loans by just having your corporations open. So definitely open these corporations and start building that credit through it, and not the business credit per se, but just you guarantee it and get a business credit card. 0% interest. I buy a lot of Amazon stuff with the points that I make with my Chase cards. Chase has treated me well. Bank of America has done well. Eddie Hernandez is an incredible person. I have Ancia Regents. All those guys have given me incredible credit lines, which have helped me become a better investor and to be able to do multiple houses. So definitely work on that business credit. So open your corporation quick. It helped me get to where I'm at today when I didn't even have the funds to do this, so it allows you to hurdle through a couple things and not have to wait as long. So no matter what type of business you're in, you want to make sure you use those lines of credits to help you invest. So guys, I'll wrap up with the last couple questions. Marketing wise, make sure you're marketing yourself. I'll say it one more time: empower, entertain, and impact. Those are the 3 types of posts. Do not show posts at you of the club, taking shots, drinking. Make yourself a brand. Brand yourself. Make sure that your client that wants to sell you a house, or that you want to sell them a house, a car, you want to sell them Mac products, whatever the case may be, that you're not taking their business serious on the weekends when you're just going on. And I'm not one of these people that's telling you not to go out. But make sure you don't market yourself as the going out person. Market yourself as the professional. So it's all about how the way people perceive you, and how kids realize that you're a professional on the weekends as well. So if you're working, make sure you're putting an Instagram story. Whatever you're doing, if you're Raul selling boats, make sure they're seeing you at the marina, man. Bro, I'm challenging you, man. You're at the marina. I don't see enough stories. I need to know more of your life, of what you do on a day-to-day. I see you when you do these boat tours, on these boat rides, but man, show me sure that you're letting people know to that you want, that your day-to-day. I'm here at this office. I take Instagram stories of my other incredible agents. Why? Because they're my why. So I want to make sure people know that I'm caring about them, and I want people to know what I'm doing every day. Don't feel that, oh man, this person's gonna unfollow me because I'm posting too much. Who cares? They want to unfollow you, let them unfollow you. Bye, good. There's gonna be so many more individuals that you're gonna empower through your hard work, and it's gonna motivate people. I do this for that. I want you guys to take this and do it, and I want you guys to be the same exact way. So there's somebody that I'll never reach that you can reach, and you use that vessel, free social media, to push others. So definitely use your social media to empower others, entertain. I love to do the entertainment side of it, and impact your community. We have a homeless outreach at the end of the month that I'll plug in here so you guys can see. And I don't care where you guys are at, we're in the street. Come by, go, bring your kids, let them see how blessed we are with whatever we have. No matter if it's a lot or a little, we're still blessed in this incredible country to be able to do the things that we do. Denzel says, thank you for the great tips. You're welcome, my brother. It's a pleasure. Best passive income venture for newbie realtor / investor, income property or joint ventures. A lot of individuals, they'll go the route and say, hey, let me build passive income with rental properties. I think if you're gonna buy one rental property, if you're making $1,800, $1,200, I don't think it's gonna be enough. I mean, for you to say, hey, this is gonna take me to the next level. I would implore you to at least have a couple $100,000 in the bank, so when a great deal comes around, you're able to buy it. A lot of people, will buy that property with leverage, so they'll get a loan out on that property and then use the income from that to support another property. That's a great rental strategy, so that works. But if you're just gonna, if I had to do it at the beginning, I would try to build more of like a pipeline with my actual clients to continue like as a realtor. I would definitely build enough pipeline so that residual income is multiple closings a month. So if I had $20,000, I really wouldn't invest that all into an investment property. I would get those $20,000 and 20% of every closing I do and reinvest it in myself. Google ads, more than Facebook ads with Instagram ads is number one. It's so cheap. It costs 4 to 6 cents for each, like, not the impression, but for 4 to 6 cents to really impact somebody. It's so cheap right now. Like the bigger companies, you don't see them on there. They're behind the curve. You got a good 2 to 3 years to grab your piece of the landscape of the land grab that we're doing. Gary Vee talks about it well. You need to invest in yourself, putting sponsored ads on Facebook and Instagram. And so I'll invest them in Realtor.com or Zillow. Put some of that money into that, so you can build, every closing figure, it's $8,000 to $15,000 in a real estate closing. It could be more once you get into luxury. It could be less. It could be $4,000 to $6,000. But on the average, with the mean is like 9 to 15, I would say, because of a home is 250 to 350. Anything decent. There may be homes that you buy for 100, 150,000. So figure it could be also 3 to 6,000. But it just depends on when you're marketing. The same cost it costs you to market, yourself to a $200,000 buyer is the same that is going to cost you for a $400,000, maybe even to a $600,000. And the biggest key, your best client is in here as well, but you want to put icing on the cake, Enzo, and invest into that. Now, when you start getting a bunch of closings and you have a lot of money piled like that, you can't invest more into yourself. Now start looking into that rental income. And you may have to start looking outside of Miami to get those $30,000 to $60,000 apartments or condos and build a good rental income. Detroit, Chicago, Texas, Portland. There's just so many places in the United States. The investment firm InvestQuest that I have the pleasure of being a managing partner, they we're buying in 16 states. So Miami is not as good as it used to be to find these home run deals, but they're still out there. It just takes a little bit more work, Enzo. So definitely, I would say you should look into it, but only when your pipeline is full as a newbie realtor / investor. Guys, I'm gonna probably wrap this up here. I'm so humbled and grateful for all you guys that have come in, ask questions. I'm gonna set up an actual date, probably every Thursday, do one of these things where you guys could ask questions throughout the week, and I'll have them all ready and flow with it a little bit better. And I'll do it from whatever office or whatever location that I'm at. And again, thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your day. Be blessed. Rock and roll. Show up. Get to the office. Review this video. Look at my YouTube channel. There's incredible things from different avenues. If you want to get video blog on yourself that we interview each other, let's do it, guys. Take care and have an awesome day.